one of the next steps that you need to know how to do if you want to is swap the draw board from the left to the right hand side of the bow press. And to do that, you just have to rotate the precision bow holder and your draw board winch, the bracket on those 90 degrees. And that is just because of the block on the inside of the bow press arms where your fingers mount. That angle iron bracket on the draw board, this angle iron bracket here, it has to be able to fit inside. So for that to happen, to be able to move the winch from one side of the bow press to the other, you've got to rotate those brackets. And it's very simple to do. It is not a process you'll want to do repeatedly, but if you decide that you want to move the draw board from one end to the other, the winch, and then the precision bow holder from one end to the other, this is the process to do it. So I'll get you up here, I'll get you close so that you can see exactly what you need to watch for and exactly what you need to do. All right, everybody, so you're gonna need a 5/32 Allen wrench, or in some cases, these bolts, they kind of can get stuck because they go into a steel block here. If they do, you can either, again, you can still use your 5/32 Allen wrench, or a small impact drill will do the trick, or maybe an L-shaped Allen wrench instead of a T-handle so that you can get more torque on it. But all you're gonna do on the front of the draw board, you're gonna remove the 3 screws that match each other, these 3 black screws or bolts. The single screw that's silver, you're not gonna mess with it. That one stays in. It does not have anything to do with the bracket, just these 3 black ones. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep loosening each of these bolts. If you turn the unit upright like this, it might be just a little bit easier to get these out. So I'm using my T-handle Allen wrench, but you can use any Allen wrench, any impact drill, as long as it fits these bolts. And I'm just gonna go ahead and take these out completely. Now again, you're not going to touch the one silver bolt. That one does not go all the way through into the bracket, only these 3 black ones do. So you're gonna take those completely out, and then that's going to give you the ability to rotate the winch on the bracket. Now I'm just gonna keep everything together here so there's no risk of parts coming out. I will take it off so you can see. You see it's got a plate on it, but if you turn this over, of course, parts can start coming out and you don't want that. So I'm gonna put this back exactly how it was. And this is set up with your winch so that it can go on this side of your bow press. So on the right side of the bow press, it's got clearance here for the block that's inside where your fingers mount. So you can see when you move this to the opposite side, you're gonna have to rotate it because the strap comes out on this side. If you rotate it to the other side of your press, the strap's gonna come out in this direction. But now you've got an issue. This bracket is going to hit the metal block inside your bow press. So how do you fix it? You're just gonna rotate this bracket 1 notch, 90 degrees, and that's it. That's all there is to it. You're quite literally just rotating this bracket 1 notch. And now you're going to realign everything, pop these screws back in one at a time. This front one here goes through a piece of rubber, so you'll have to wiggle it back in, and then you're gonna cinch these bolts back down. Now I would not cinch them down all at once. You're gonna wanna do a little bit of each one, just kind of one at a time. That way you're not cross-threading anything. If you go ahead and tighten down one of these bolts in full, you may not get the other 2 in. They may kind of cross-thread, so you just kind of go back and forth and do a little bit of each bolt, just a little bit at a time, until you get all of them really close. And one other note while I'm tightening these bolts, of course, you can use the draw board with left or right-handed bows, no matter which side this bracket's on. But depending upon which side it's on and what right-handed or left-handed bow you're doing, that is going to determine if you can see the timing marks or your modules come around and touch your cable easily. So again, you can do it either way and use left or right-handed bows. You just got to decide which side of the bow press you want your bracket on to accommodate. You know, most people, if you're doing right-handed bows the most, you're probably going to put the bracket on the left side of the bow press so that when you draw your right-handed boat, all of your modules or your draw stops or things of that nature are on the outside. So it's just personal preference. You can use it either way. This is set up for the winch to go on the left side. Be sure to check out the video about the precision boat holder and moving it to the opposite side. But this is very easy and straightforward. It only takes a couple of minutes. It's not something you'll do every day, but it is something you can do if it's something you want to do. And then if you ever want to move it back, you can flip this back over, loosen all your screws again or your bolts, and then rotate the bracket so that you get clearance inside the boat press. But that is all there is to it. You can rotate the bracket on the LCA Draw Board 2.0.